Renting a cargo van and start a delivery business. Is it even worth it? Thinking about renting a cargo van and start your own delivery business, or even renting one and get started working on gig apps? What about all the fees, the high mileage rates, and everything else associated with renting one? Will it even be worth it? I rented one for 4 weeks straight. Let's find out, was it worth it? Peace everyone, welcome back to Gigonomics. And if you're wondering about renting a cargo van and start your own delivery business, this video is for you. Or even if you've been keeping up with my renting a cargo van series, this is the final update to the series. Let's just recap a little bit. So my reason for renting a cargo van is because I'm going to expand my business. I'm gonna add another driver, and before I made the big upfront purchase, I just wanted to run the numbers. I wanted to run some loads, do some live testing, get some real results. Initially, I was only gonna do it for 1 week, then it led to 2 weeks, and eventually it led into me renting it for a whole month. So instead of buying one up front, I figured I'd just rent this one, run my numbers, and come to my determination at the end of the rental. So let's recap the numbers. So for week 1, I had a total of 1,020 miles. I had a total fuel cost of $273. I had 4 tolls totaling $6. And so for week 1, the loads I ran, I had 3 broker loads. I had two personal customer orders, and the rest of the week was filled out with gig apps. Total money made for week 1 was $2,133.85. All right, that's for the week 2. So for week 2, I had a total of 760 miles. I spent $165 in fuel, and I had $10 in tolls. For week 2, I ran 2 broker loads. I had no customer orders for week 2. The rest of the week was filled out with gig apps. The money I made was $1,567.23, and that was only for 6 days. Week 1, I worked 7 days. Week 2 was only 6 days. All right, week 3, I had 980 miles, and for some reason, I spent a lot of money in fuel. My fuel charge was a total of $310. I had $13 in tolls. I made $2,381. So week 4 was a good week. A lot of miles, but I made some good money for week 4. So week 4 total miles was 1,343 miles. I spent $375 in fuel. I had higher tolls this week as well. The tolls was $70, which is crazy. I gotta invest in the pre-pass. For that week, I ran 4 broker loads, and I was everywhere. I was upstate New York, VA, West Virginia, Connecticut, New York. I also had 4 personal customer orders, and the rest of the week was filled out with gig apps. My daily runs with Metrobi and Dispatch. For week 4, I made a total of $2,744.53. So for 4 weeks, my total miles was 4,103 miles. And that's for the whole month, 4,103 miles. I made for the whole month $8,826.61. My total fuel cost was $1,123. But keep in mind, I run a lot of broker loads. So I did receive a fuel surcharge payment of $525. So that $525, we're going to subtract from that initial out-of-pocket pay for fuel of $1,123. Okay? My tolls for the month was $99, which I get reimbursed for all my tolls. So we'll wipe that out, all right? No toll expense. All right, so for the total, for the month, we got 4,103 miles. Total money made, $8,826.61. Total fuel cost, $1,123. Reimbursement for the fuel surcharge for the month, $525. The total cost of tolls for the month, $99, which I all got reimbursed for. So the profit before the expenses would be $8,826.61 made. All right, now we're going to subtract the money I spent on fuel, which was $1,123. So that leaves a profit of $7,703.61. But now let's add the $525 fuel surcharge back to that $7,703.61. That brings the profit up to $8,000. $228.61 for the month. All right, so that's minus my fuel. That's all expenses. That's as far as running my loads go. This is not the cargo van expenses. This is just all the expenses I had out of pocket and how much I made. All right, so I'm at a total of $8,228.61 made for the month. All right, now the rental expenses. So initially I was under the impression that I was going to that I would be paying 69 cents a mile. They told me once I cross over 3,000, it'll go down to 69 cents. I end up paying 80 cents a mile. They didn't honor the discount. So yeah, 80 cents a mile, which I did cross the 3,000 mile, so they didn't charge me the 69 cents. They didn't let me pay the 69 cents. So at 80 cents a mile times my total miles, 4,103 equals $3,282.40 is what I owe for the rental at $80 cents a mile. All right. Plus I paid $124 a week. So $124 for 4 weeks, that's $496. So the total expense for renting a cargo van for 4 weeks was $3,778.40. All right, so let's subtract that total expense from the total I made, which would leave $4,450.21 that I made profit out of all my expenses. So initially, that big number of $8,000 went all the way down to $4,500 once I subtracted the expenses of the van. So what y'all think? Is it worth it or not? Over $8,000 for the month made, but over $3,000 in expenses. So you got to think about that. If I'm gonna spend over $3,000 in expenses as far as renting the van, then I might as well purchase a new one and spend less than $3,000. But if you have no other option and you want to go this way, my only suggestion would be is to find a rental to where that 80 cents a mile, that's kind of high. So your mileage rate, you want to find the lowest possible mileage rate. You want to try to, sign up and get a corporate deal or some kind of business discount to get the mileage rate low, to get the whole total price of the rental low. One way to do it is by signing up, setting up business accounts, having a debit card on file, letting them be able to withdraw the money. So yeah, I don't know. You let me know what you think. I showed you my numbers. 4,500 clear for the week is not bad. Be a little over $1,000. So if you don't have no way to get access to a cargo van, but you got to work, then it's not a bad idea. If you total out my pocket to begin with was only $124, I didn't have to pay the final until the end of the rental. So you have a little bit of room to make the money to pay for it if you don't have it up front to get started. But that's my take. Until next time, y'all stay safe, stay blessed, get to your hustle. Peace.